Welcome to the On Your Side podcast. I'm Susan Campbell, joined by my friend and coworker, Scott Passmore, one of our amazing anchors here at Arizona's Family. And we are talking today about car trade-ins. Anytime we have topics about real estate or cars, I know I can ask you to pinch hit because you love both of those things. Today, all about cars.
I love cars. I been through a lot in my life, and I'm the ultimate loser when it comes to losing money on cars. I tend to buy high and sell low. I'm really good at that, unfortunately.
That's not good. That's not what we're going to hear. I do want to go back in time. Take me back. What was the very first car you had?
My first car was a 1966 Mustang convertible.
Ooh, yeah, that's a light good blue, first car.
3 on the tree, 200 horsepower. Yeah, it was really cool.
That sounds amazing.
And I wished I still had that today.
Yeah, no
Like
kidding.
a lot of people do, right?
Holy cow. Was that a car that you sought out and you were like, that is the dream car? Or was it kind of just happenstance that it landed in your lap?
It just kind of landed in my lap. Yeah, I had that. And then after that, I wanted a Trans Am.
Yeah.
So my dad, we went to a Pontiac dealership. I said, oh, there it is, a white Trans Am. And it had the TA 6.6 liter, over 400 horsepower. And so he test drove it, and he went around a corner and broke the tires loose. And he goes, no, you're not getting this car.
Not that one.
No, it's too fast.
A little too much. Your first car is cooler than mine. My first car I had big dreams of the Mustang convertible, right? Mm-hmm. My first car was a 1994 Dodge Intrepid.
Really?
All right. that sometimes got stuck in first gear. So I was terrified that my parents, if my car didn't work, I was just terrified that I wouldn't have any car because my parents wouldn't pay to fix it or something. It was terrible of me to expect that or think that, but I didn't tell them about this problem. So sometimes I would just drive all the way home from school.
In first gear?
In first gear.
Oh, man.
My dad finally heard me pull into the driveway one time. He was like, he still tells the story. You're like, we're driving down the road. He's like, what is going on?
I've driven some junk in my life. When I was making $10,000 a year early on in this career, I had a $99 car that I actually won, and then I paid $350 for a car. So trust me, I've driven junk.
You've got the whole gamut.
Yeah.
Look, today we were talking about trade-ins, how to get the most for what you are trading in, because the value of trade-ins is going up as the price of cars goes up. We want to bring in Justin from CarEdge. Justin, this is kind of your expertise. First of all, talk a little bit about the trade-in market right now. How valuable are those trades?
Yeah, so trading in a car is a big deal because, as many of us have found out the hard way, buying a car is typically the second most expensive purchase you're going to make in your adult life. Cars are expensive. The average new car price now, it's about $50,000, which if you haven't been on the market in a decade, that's going to come as a very unpleasant surprise. Trade-in values have been through the ringer over the past 5 years. During the pandemic, they quickly fell as people stopped buying cars. And then in 2021 and 2022, there was a new car shortage, which sent trade-in values through the roof in a quick turnaround. And now we've kind of gone back to historical norms. So it's a bit of a weird, sticky situation where it depends when you last went through this trade-in process. That really affects how you're going to approach this whole situation. We've normalized at a new normal, but keep in mind, if you bought a car in 2022 with a $5,000 markup, and now in 2026, you're coming to trade in that car, they're looking at 2026 values. They're not going to feel sorry for the fact that you overpaid 4 years ago, and they're not going to give you that extra trade-in value at the dealership. They're just going to say, sorry, you might have some negative equity. And right now we're encountering so many sellers or buyers who are looking to trade in that are shocked at the negative equity that they have. And that's a challenge that we should definitely talk about and how to prevent.
Yeah, I do want to jump into that before we get into some of your tips to get through getting the most money. When we're talking about negative equity, just give us, first of all, the quick definition, if our listeners aren't familiar with that, what that actually means and what are some ways to get around that when you are getting another car.
Yeah, so negative equity on a car is when you owe more than your car is worth. And most drivers don't find out until they go to trade in that car or try to sell it. and holy crap, I owe $5,000 more than my car is even worth. What am I going to do about this? Do I have to pay it off right away? No, typically you roll it into your next vehicle loan, which then sets you up for 5, 6 more years of higher payments because you've rolled that negative equity, say two, three, $4,000 into your next loan, making your payments higher for, 60 months, 72 months.
Oof,
I've
that
been
is
upside
brutal.
down in my car a lot, especially in the younger part of my life. It's not. It's not. You want to get out of that as much as possible, Justin. You don't want to keep riding it into your next car and then pass it on to your next car because you'll always be upside down.
Yeah, and a good way to avoid that is honestly to buy a gently used vehicle because the greatest depreciation hit is always in the first year of ownership for a brand new car. Whoever buys that car brand new, they're the one taking the hit. So used car buyers like to say, the other guy took the depreciation hit for me, and I'm going to take advantage of that and, get a better price and be much less likely to end up underwater on that loan. Another thing you can do is to put a sizable down payment down if you want to buy new. No matter whether you're buying new or used, we recommend 10% if you can put down more, but putting at least 10% down as a down payment, it's a lot of money these days. We're talking $50,000 average new car prices. Used cars average around $26,000. It's a lot of money, but it does quite a bit to keep you out of the negative equity situation.
Absolutely. It is hard to put that into perspective that
Right.
that's the average because that means there are a lot of people
That's
paying
right.
a
Yes.
lot more than
I mean,
50.
it seems like every SUV this day and age is 75 and up, right?
It's
crazy money.
overwhelming. Yeah,
Yes, it is.
absolutely. And that is the desired vehicle for so many people because you want the space, you want to be higher up from the driver's seat. Like there's a lot of reasons that people kind of gravitate to that car. Car makers know it. Justin, want to talk about how to negotiate for the trade-in because I think a lot of people just go to the dealership, they fall in love with the new car that they want to buy, and then they say, "Here's the car I rolled up in. What are you going to give me for it?" And we might be leaving money on the table. How do we get around that?
Always treat your trade-in as a separate transaction. Now, for most of us, that doesn't come as like our instinct. We want to look at that new car. We want to get the best price on the new car. Sure, take my trade-in, give me what you can for it. But that is the worst possible thing you can do. By letting the salesperson that you're interacting with know that you want to treat it as a separate transaction, number one, they're going to know that you're an informed buyer. That always puts you at an advantage. And number two, you're going to be setting yourself up for getting the most possible amount of money for your trade-in, which values can range widely. Like you'd be surprised trading in the same car, you go to one dealership, they might offer you $20,000. You go across the street, they'll offer you $23,000. It's thousands of dollars we're talking about here, which matters to all of us.
So how do you approach that? You go in and say, okay, give me your best deal on this SUV right here. And then they come back with a number on that. And then you say, okay, I have this trade in. What's the best deal you're going to give me on my car?
Excellent question. What we say is first negotiate the out the door price of the vehicle you're purchasing. They're going to ask, nice car I see you brought in today. Are you going to be trading that in? It's natural for the salesperson to ask that. That's fine. You don't have to tell them right away. You can say, I'm thinking about it. I'm not sure. I want to negotiate the out the door price first, and then we can talk about that. Stick to your plan, and that is always going to end up giving you the best situation for your trade-in value.
What do you say about all these fees they add on that you're like, whoa, wait a minute. We undercoat the car for the winter. We paid for the tinted windows. The dock fee. The dock fee always seems to be different. I mean,
And the windows.
Yes.
That one made me so mad when I was shopping for my last car because I was buying a car off a lease. It had tinted
already
windows.
had it, but they acted
from
like they
3
did it.
years ago.
So-
and I was like, I
Yeah.
am not paying for this.
Right.
You didn't do this for me.
Well, here at CarEdge, we have a saying, and I believe we've even got it on some merch somewhere. If it's taxable, it's negotiable. And if you're talking about pinstripes, nitrogen-filled tires, or VIN etching, all of that is taxable. It's negotiable. You do not need to feel like you're obliged to pay for any of these dealer add-ons. They're going to tell you it was already installed on the car. I'm sorry. Feel free to walk away from that deal, and
True.
you'd be surprised how quickly they might walk back their insistence on you paying for that add-on.
Aren't you always best off walking out anyway?
One of our top trade-in tips is never accept the first deal, and that kind of goes for whether you're trading in or just buying a car, because you want to have dealerships compete against each other for your business. They've got plenty of profit built into each sale. Automakers have plenty of ways for them to make money from selling you a car. So don't worry about like helping them out. They'll be fine. Make sure and have the dealerships compete with each other.
So, one of your other tips is to just actually go in really informed, knowing your vehicle's value. How do you do that?
These days, it's super easy. It used to be more of a hassle. Um, Shop around with online buyers, everything from Carvana to CarMax, Echo Park, others. See what they're going to offer you online. Know that it's likely going to be less than you had hoped for. And that should be a total floor for what you're willing to expect from a trade-in. At the dealership, they should be able to offer you more than those online offers. Online buyers like Carvana, CarMax, etc., they know that they're offering a convenience by offering to send a tow truck to your house to pick up your car and write you a check. So that's why they offer you quite a bit less. Whenever you go into the dealership, bring those printouts with you. Know that it's less than you should be getting from the dealer, but it kind of just helps to show you a floor. Now, see local listings. That's really important too, because local listings for the exact year, make, and model that you're trying to trade in are going to be more reflective of what they're actually selling for on the market.
So we are not going to settle for the first offer. We're going to go in knowing a lot about what the value actually is. You also said note any extras that are on your vehicle. What exactly does that mean?
So if you've got some, let's say you're trading in a Toyota 4Runner, which tends to be popular with outdoor enthusiasts. If you've got some upgraded suspension or upgraded wheels that are going to be more capable for off-roading or any number of features, you want to take note of that and write it down or make it look pretty and print it off and share that with the dealer so that they know there's some added value for your vehicle. Even things like tinting your windows recently or getting new tires. We never, ever, ever advise getting new tires just to trade in your car because you're never going to get that money back. They might give you 200-300 extra dollars for your trade-in if you've got new tires, but they're never going to give you the price of those new tires, which these days tires are expensive. $1,000, maybe $2,000 if you've got an SUV. But if you happen to get new tires, say 6 months ago, just because you needed them, mention that too, and that'll help your trade-in value.
Do you think you're still better off if you want to sell your car, selling it on the open market as opposed to taking it in and trading it in?
It's all a matter of convenience.
So sell it first and then go buy it?
It's a matter of convenience and the timeline that you're working on because you are always going to get more selling it privately. That's just a fact of the market today. But it might take you 6 months, hopefully less than that, but it might take you 6 months to sell that car privately. If you're able to plan ahead, we recommend doing that to get the most for your vehicle. But if you're in a crunch, that's where all of these steps come in to make sure you play it smart.
I was recently looking for a used vehicle and went online to the places I always do, Auto Trader, all those places, looking for private sellers. And it seemed like there were far few less private sellers now than there used to be, and that most of the vehicles were already at dealerships. Is that what you're seeing, or was that just me?
Yeah, so there's a reason for that. It's because values have just gone up so much. The values of new and used vehicles have far outpaced overall inflation. And that means you've got fewer folks out there who are willing to just drop $25,000 cash or to, get their own personal loan for these used vehicles that are on the private market. It's a lot easier to get that financing you're looking for by shopping at a dealership. So it's just prices have gone up so much that private selling and buying is becoming less of a thing.
That makes a ton of sense. When we are looking at maybe a timeline to trade in, is there a timeline or a time of the year where we're going to get more money or less money on the trade?
Right now is actually one of the better times to trade in the spring, heading into spring. Summer car buying season is, I know it's February, but it's not too far away. And if you're looking to trade in at any point in 2026, between February and June, those are going to be the best times for your value.
And how are the tariffs affecting all of this?
If you're looking at trading in a car that is affected by tariffs on the new car market, let's say a Land Rover from the UK or an Audi from Germany. If it's affected by tariffs on the new car market, that can actually increase your car's trade-in value. Because if now a new buyer looking at that Land Rover is going to have to pay, let's just say $2,000 more because of tariffs, that means that they're going to be more likely to take a look at the used Land Rover market, driving up demand for those used vehicles, which in turn means your car is now worth more.
I like that. I like the sound of my car being worth more. How about mileage? Some of us run our cars absolutely into the ground. We feel like we have destroyed the value of the car. How much does mileage actually matter?
There's an interesting nuance in the market. So even if you've got a, let's say, 8 to 10-year-old vehicle with pretty low miles, you're not going to get as much as you would for a, let's say, 2-year-old vehicle with 75,000 miles on it that's been driven into the ground. Recency matters a lot. Model year matters a lot. So yeah, it's a thing, but unless you're getting close to that 100,000 mile mark, it's not going to be as big of a factor as you might think when trading in.
Okay, wait. So what happens when you hit 100,000 miles?
Value tends to drop off quite a bit.
That's just a mental thing for buyers that 100,000 feels like a lot.
It always has been for me too.
Yeah.
Warranties matter a lot. So it depends on which vehicle you're shopping or which vehicle you're trading in and when that original manufacturer warranty is going to expire. For some vehicles, it's at 60,000 miles. For EVs, because of the new powertrains, it's usually 100,000 miles or 6 years, etc. If your warranty is about to expire or has already expired, that definitely hits your resale and trade-in value quite a bit.
I always love the ads that say, only 120,000 miles, but they were all highway miles.
Just the qualification there.
I don't know if that makes a difference.
I have to tell you, I had a Jeep Cherokee, 1999 Jeep Cherokee that I loved with all my heart. And she and I put a lot of miles on together. I drove that car until it hit like 220,000 miles. And then I sold it. This guy drives up. He, scheduled a time to come look at it. This guy drives up in his Porsche. And I just had to laugh. I was like, oh my gosh, this guy does not need this. And all I could think was, this Jeep is going to go live out her remaining years as like a beach cruiser or something. Right? Yeah. And I was so happy for her. I was like, this is the best case scenario.
So he bought it?
He bought it. Yeah. He was like wheeling and dealing with me for like $100. I was like, man, come on. I see what you just pulled up in.
Yeah. Well, speaking of deals like that, what if you're selling a car and it's been in an accident and you fixed it?
It depends on how much money you're looking to save, because you can get a really good deal on, you check the Carfax report.
Right.
You can get a really good deal if you purchase a vehicle that's been in one minor accident. That just immediately knocks thousands of dollars off the resale value for that vehicle. If you're on a strict budget, you just need a commuter car, you take it for a drive, and you bring it for a pre-purchase inspection at an independent mechanic, and that mechanic says, yeah, it was in an accident, but everything checks out, you could really save quite a bit of money doing that. And also, if you're looking to trade in a vehicle that has been in an accident, keep in mind your resale value is going to be quite a bit less than what you're going to see on the online offers if you're not being honest about that. If you're trying to get an online offer from Carvana, CarMax, etc., and you're not telling them it's been in an accident, you're not going to get an honest offer, and then you're going to be really surprised whenever the dealer pulls up your Carfax report, says, "Oh, this has been in an accident. I'm going to offer you $3,000 less than you expected." So just keep that in mind. Be honest about the condition of your car.
Justin, you have given us so much good information to think about. You've helped us save a bunch of money or grab extra money from that trade. If people want to find you or CarEdge, shout out some social media or websites. Where can we find you?
Yeah, check us out at CarEdge.com. We are consumer advocates. We always fight for the best deal for consumers. Don't overpay in 2026. Check us out on YouTube for just hundreds and hundreds of free car buying help videos. CarEdge.com. We'd hope to see you there.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. This is a really fun conversation.
Thanks for having me.
Always a fun conversation. We can talk about cars. It still does blow my mind when the average is 50,000. I know even just a couple years ago when I was shopping for cars, even used, I bought mine off a 3-year lease, and even that felt like a boatload of money, and it was not even close to this $50,000 mark.
Oh, there's nothing worse than getting home after you've done the deal and you think about it, and then you think, I didn't get a very good deal.
Yeah.
And I spent too much money.
The second guessing.
But I want to tell you a real quick story about the cheapest car I ever bought.
Oh, yes.
I was working in television in Albuquerque, and I went to a Ford dealership because I love the Mustangs, and I was just going to go look at a Mustang that I wasn't going to buy because I didn't have any money. So anyway, I walk up on the parking lot, and there's like 200 people standing there in the parking lot by the cars with balloons and everything. And so I said to the salesman, what's going on here? And they go, well, we're giving away a car for 99 cents.
Stop this.
I'm like, no kidding? They go, yeah, go put your name in that aquarium. So there's a table with a little aquarium. So I filled out my name and number. I put it down in there. And I'm standing there, and so they play music and let some balloons go. Okay, we're going to announce the winner. And it's like a 1976 Thunderbird, one of the bigger ones.
Fun.
So they bring a little kid up from the crowd, and he reaches up, and there's this piece of paper that's like over the ledge, like bent and leaning over the edge like that, hanging over the edge. And he starts to grab that, and I'm like, reach down in there. He pulls that one out. Scott Passmore.
Stop it.
I won. So,
oh my goodness.
First car I ever paid cash for. Gave him $1 and got a penny back. So I got this car, and I drove it home, and I needed like 2 quarts of oil to get it home. You could hear the lifters going. So, I mean, it didn't look bad. So that was back when there was nothing online. So I put it for sale in the paper. And this guy came over and bought it, and I think he gave me $350 for it.
That's amazing.
I go, what are you going to use it for? And he goes, I need the engine.
He wanted to part it out.
Yeah. So
you bought a car for 99 cents.
Paid cash.
How old was the car when you bought it?
So that would have been, I was early 80s, probably 85. So it's a 70. Well, I was probably 15 years old or something like that at the time. Yeah.
That is such a good story.
You
owe that little kid so much. Did you go up to him afterward and give him a giant high five?
Yeah, I should have.
Holy
That's
moly.
the first time and only time I've ever been lucky in my life. Because I've never won anything.
Gosh, 99 cents. My great-grandma, she actually, way back when, the family story goes, she woke up one day and was like, I had a dream that one of the grandkids is going to win a car. And so she bought a ticket for like the local raffle for a car. Right. My uncle was the one that...
Really?
Yeah, he wasn't even 16. So he wasn't able to like use it for a long time. But yeah, they won a car too. I don't think it was brand new, but I don't think it was a 99-cent deal either.
99 cents.
So
what can you buy with 99 cents today? Piece of gum.
Such a good story. I love it.
That's funny.
The On Your Side podcast is produced by Brad Denny. Our audio engineer and editor is Todd Martin. Segment producer is Colin Stanton. And I'm Susan Campbell. If you have a problem you can't resolve, maybe we can. Send us a message through azfamily.com or our AZ Family mobile news app. Look for the On Your Side section and leave us a message. Thanks so much for listening to the On Your Side podcast. And if you like it, leave us a review. We'll see you next week.
On Your Side is on Good Morning Arizona every weekday morning at 6:45 and 7 o'clock, and every weekday evening on Good Evening Arizona at 4 and 5 o'clock. You can also catch it on Arizona's Family News at 9 on 3TV every weeknight.